Hello everybody! Welcome to the Ordeals of Livistio, featuring... Oh my god, I'm blanking on your name. The pacifiers? No. The facilitators. There we go.
How
Vin
dare you.
Diesel is on my mind for some reason, guys. We are the facilitators in the Ordeals of Livistio. I am your dungeon master for this evening, John. And we, for the first time, seem to be down our prince, guys. This is historic news. Oh no. Which means everything that happens is going to be up to you now. You're going to be held responsible. Oh no. What kind of future do we hold here?
Dwarves.
Indeed, dwarves. Guys, we are down our Greg for right now. Maybe he'll rejoin us if he shows up. He said he'd be here ASAP, but I don't know what that means exactly. We're going to go around the table real quick and see how everyone's doing. Starting with Red and ending on Rube. Dizem, also known as Red, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing pretty well. My brother's birthday was yesterday. Well, his birthday party, at least. I was up till about 5 a.m. in the morning. Not with him. There with my friends around a campfire. So that was my yesterday. Otherwise, week's been going pretty good.
Very, very cool. What about you, Corin, also playing as Ursale?
I'm doing alright. I've been feeling a little bit dizzy the last couple days, so hopefully I don't fall over, but you know.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that you're dizzy. I'm glad you're seated, though. Don't fall on camera. Henrietta, how are you?
I'm doing good. I have a new kitty friend that's gonna join us for today.
Ooh. Can you show us? Are they nearby?
No, she's walking around and meowing because she's upset that my boyfriend left.
Oh. Well,
he is the favorite, so.
Oh.
Bad times.
I understand. Yeah. You're in for
I'm less cool.
For a world of trouble.
Yep.
Rube, it's been 2 weeks. How was Clown College?
Clown College was great. I got to see all my Clown College friends. We got to dress up in our clown outfits. We had to paint eggs. It was a fantastic time.
What were the eggs for?
Well, you know, when you make your trademark clown makeup, you have to paint it on an egg, and they put it on a shelf so no one can take your look.
Yeah. You know, that sounds like the authenticity a clown would go through of like, I don't know if my face paint is correct. Let me consult the wall of eggs real fast. Well, we're glad you're back.
That's exactly how they do it.
Rube, we have a time-honored tradition of
John,
making fun of...
There's someone waiting.
There's our prince.
Guys,
our prince.
Hold yourselves. You are live. Our voices are hot, by the way.
Appreciate it.
We're all holding ourselves.
It's true.
I apologize. I don't know where I was at, but it was not where it needed to be. I've completely forgot where I was supposed to be today.
You're good, man. Mics are live. If you want to throw on your camera, we can jump back in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Alright. Let's get rid of this clown picture. Guys, we're doing the scuffed quick nameplate change right now, since everyone else seems fine. Guys, this is the first time all freaking 6 of us have been here in the past month or two. Woo!
Just for the war.
It's true. We were about to do our recap, Greg, but now I get to ask you how your week was. How was your week, Greg?
My week was okay. I was sick. I think if you remember last time we were here, and I was dealing with that a lot of the week. Kind of felt mid, but it's cleared up. I had a good D&D session last night, and otherwise pretty.
I caught the tail end of that. It seems that most people survived? Question mark. No one seemed upset.
Everybody survived. It took a scroll of Revivify, but everybody came back okay.
Well, that's neato petito. As I was saying, Rube, we have a time-honored tradition. That is, the person who was not here last week gets to do the recap. Which means it's time to do the recap, Rube.
Okay. I'll do it my best. Benoit Blanc. Last session I was in here, for I was over in Clown College, but the session, if I remember correctly, started with a pantry party, as they often do. And in the pantry, a very important question was asked by the prince on how do we see ourselves in the coming war. There were a lot of obvious answers. The one I noted more clearly was that Corn would be the winter champion, or he loves winter and he would like to be the champion. After the pantry party, my notes go as follows. Glynis goes into drag with Yancey's help to ease the darkness and depression surrounding the castle. Wasn't entirely successful. Did jump scare a servant and cause them to lose their bowels in the prank, as it were. So, successful prank. My notes then go from the queenish impression to that Dizem attempt to make a dwarf bone soup with middle success. I don't know what the soup did. I don't know what it was meant to do. And I don't know why it was done. But it was there. My notes now go to Yancey robs the old man Argyle and learns about Livistian troop deployment. The main part of that I wrote down was that the pontoon has been completed. Don't know what pontoon that is. Don't know where it is or why it is, but it's there. My next notes are about the prince himself. I gave you a +1 to tyranny in my notes because you referred to us as dogs at the minute 40 in the river once. So I did skip a part where Argyle had a crossbow and said where he got it from, and y'all found a corpse of one of our men in the river.
Oh.
And the person to find the corpse was the prince, of course, and he goes, "Come over here, dogs." So that was a +1 to tyranny to you. And so from there, lots of different hypothesizing was done about the corpse. I don't know where that led to, except that then Glynis went and reported back to the king. We were given a curt dismissal to take Argyle with us and lead the Band of the Horn, or the Horny Band, over and take Argyle with us because he has no place in the height of the upcoming war. And then my notes kind of putter out a little bit, and my next line says, "I've been nominated to ride a bear."
Yes.
Again, it says ×3, so it's the third time.
It must
and
happen.
then it has some words from Argyle about how Gilmore Marchette is a warmonger, and how the devil Baron Bronson has taken over critical parts of the king's information network, such as his mail and his news. And that's the end of my notes. I did fall asleep.
Okay. Excuse me. That was a pretty good
I would like to note that the calling us of dogs was Gilly trying to do fun new slang terms per Yancey's encouragement.
Just call
there
us
were a
dog.
couple more thrown in there.
There were a few, yeah.
I think no one took it offensively. But it's good to know that Sniffer T-posing, chasing after the prince did. Sneffer, I made a promise to the people, all the people in the world, that since you were absent, but also things were likely not going to be too civilized in the future, that I would give you one last chance to retcon shop. If you have nothing you wish to buy from town prior to the war breaking out, so from the weeks of the 9th of April or the 8th of April, yes, the 8th of April down to the 14th is where we are starting our calendar. If you need to buy anything, your T-posing silent body will have done this on your behalf. Is there anything you need to buy?
Well, I've been meaning to re-up my lamp oil from session 1. So my lamp oil. Fine papers and inks, just in case I run across any new spells.
Okay.
And soap, but not for me, for anyone around me. Because we're going to be on the road, I imagine, for a long time like we were last time. And I had to be near Son of Sigus, and he stunk. So, sorry, let me get out of the Benoit Blanc accent.
Yeah, do a Sneffer accent. I miss it.
Everyone froze.
Uh-oh.
Oh. Are we unfrozen?
No one's frozen for me.
I think Snuffer's going crazy.
I think Sneffer might be the one struggling.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we're all fine.
Hello?
I think it's just Rube.
Oh, I heard someone.
Oh,
Hello? Are you back?
Whenever we all yell really loudly at once.
That'll
yeah,
fix
yeah,
it.
ready?
Yeah, definitely.
1, 2, 3.
Ah! Oh no, guys. He finished the thing and we're about to lose him due to internet. This is gonna suck. No! Oh.
Having some sort of internet problem.
Kick him and make him come back and see if that solves it.
Yes, let me do that real quick. Woo! We're back after that little hiccup. Sorry about that, everyone. Gosh, where were we? Buying stuff for Snefru. Snefru, let's buy some stuff. You bought ink, soap, papers, lamp oil. Anything else?
That's all I had, John.
Alrighty. Then we are going to fast forward to the 14th of April. War has come. Orders were given. Party. You are currently at Livistio, which is going to change every single time because John's naming conventions were kind of a meme. When I put down one name into a create country generator, it just gave me some names. Guys, we are here in Livistio. We have the Crown Prince, his battle buddies, also known as his retinue, who are paid to be his friend. And you guys, I believe, are heading to Aiken on horseback to gather up some cavalry to head where your army is already going.
Yes.
Sound right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
It, just out of curiosity before we dive ahead in, Snefru had a chance to shop. Did our war wizard have a chance to, like, make war plans or think about them at all, or are we just... he just, like, along for the ride after I delegated?
I was about to ask that as well.
Oh.
Did Sneffer have a chance to ask Tove if Tove would be willing to turn back into an owl?
I don't have a choice, he says as you shift shape him one more time.
Okay.
Go ahead and spend the money to re-shape shift him.
Got it.
He becomes an owl. You can't help but feel that his whoos sound a little bit more of wise. As he bemoans his fate as a flying creature. Did you have any strategies you wish to bring up to the team, or were you satisfied with the plan that was made in your T-posing silence?
The plan was fine for now. I'm working on strategies for... I'm working on contingencies for the actual capital.
Okay.
But nothing we need right now.
Okay, then
Out
I'm
of
gonna
curiosity, Snefru, can you blow up a bridge? It was thought about last time, and I don't know if you have the capability. Perhaps that's on the table.
I do love to blow up a bridge.
It depends on the bridge, Your Majesty. If it's solid stone and ground stone and mortar, quite difficult with a fireball. Depends on the bridge.
Okay, well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, I suppose. Sorry,
All right,
John. Please
I'm
take
gonna
us
do
away.
a quick... I'm just gonna talk now, guys. We're gonna... my lag makes me talk over you, and I'm just gonna appreciate it. Guys, we're going to do a quick update on the war front, which we will probably do once every session or once when it seems important. You know, when things change, we should know what's changing. Currently, your boat managed to sink one boat, or rather, your fleet managed to sink one boat. However, the other ones, which seemed to be an updated navy the Neordians were hiding from Livistio, has crushed your podunk fleet. And has now landed troops inside of the city, which is apparently actively on fire as of several hours ago. This is an in-development thing, so you're unsure when you'll get news on it, but it's unlikely that, 150 guys or so can take over the entire city, let alone a quarter of it. So, good things are happening there, you hope. Otherwise, infrastructure damage and civilian loss of life is expected. But who cares about that when you're a prince, right? Right, everybody? Huh? Who knows? Next up, we have this massive column of several hundred to maybe even over 1,000 people. Numbers vary. Your scouts could not get an accurate count due to the forest being in the way. However, there seems to be some sort of crossing that the Neordians have made and have now gone through a hillside / heavily forested path they have discovered to get into Livistio, and are currently threatening your sister's domain / lands that will soon be made. Oh, excuse me. You know that there are several garrisons currently being raised and rallied. However, some people further away from the capital probably don't even know what's going on right now. As I said earlier, this development is only a couple hours old, and you guys are just right ahead of it due to your proximity of where things are happening. Livistio, as we are now calling it, is already beginning to assemble its garrison. You passed Alian, which is also assembling its garrison, and you're fairly certain the city is actively preparing to repel the attackers. With that update complete, we jump into session as you all, riding on borrowed horsebacks taken from the keep, head on over to Icon, which will be a several-hour journey, but, you know, what's a couple dozen miles between friends? Is there any conversations you guys have while taking this 90-ish mile journey?
I think a lot of the conversations we had probably were like what we did last session when we were talking about, do we go to Icon, do we ride to Tior, like, do we cut across the tree line, or do we go back across the roads, right? All of those conversations, or at least that's what was on the prince's mind and probably still is. I think that a lot of those conversations, like being like, hey, can we blow up the bridge? Like, oh, I don't want to, but maybe. And like, I think we should just go straight across the hills and the trees, and people being like, no, you're an idiot. Use the roads. I think those are the conversations that I guess Glennis probably was having.
I still think we should blow up the bridge. It's still my strong opinion. Fuck bridges.
Destroyed the bridge.
Yeah, I mean, bridges
Save
are
the
overrated.
child.
What did a bridge ever do to you?
Look, if you can't ford the river by yourself, did you really deserve to cross the river?
I just think we
Well-
should become a fairy state and flood most places. Get around
We
on
are
boat.
now Atlantis. We are an underwater kingdom.
I think it'd
I'm
be
for
fun.
it.
Can't be lit on fire if there's water everywhere now, can you?
Really putting the
Big
gills
brain.
Only
in
if we can
Gilly.
turn the bears into sea bears.
Give them tails.
Oh.
I don't know what to say.
Sea bears.
Oh, no.
I've heard of seahorses. I assume there must be sea bears. What do you
There's
think,
gotta be.
Dizem? Have you seen a sea bear? I assume.
There's
Would
everything.
would the
See,
water mother want a bear with a tail of a fish?
She is not the mother of the water. That is ludicrous of a claim.
Wow.
But she is the mother of the water
You've never
bears.
given her a different name, Dizem. She can't also be called Dizem.
Well, no, that was a stupid name. That's my name. And my horses. And all my objects.
I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind.
Everything he touches belongs
Get him
to
away
him.
from me.
As
He
Dizem
has the
does
Dizem.
not threaten to touch you and turn you into Dizem, you say, you all ride hard and fast to Icon. Icon is quite close to the capital, so when you all arrive in mid-afternoon, every hour, feeling like a anxious sword wound in your stomachs, you will find that a militia is already assembling. There are families, farmer communities that are already beginning to send people, like, out into the forest and further south. Because they are fairly certain, just due to the proximity, that it's going to be much safer southwards, more so than northwards or where they currently are. You will assumedly ride up to the leaders and local militia captains who are organizing this jaunty affair, and they will see you. Some of them will recognize your at least one of them is like, oh fuck, that's a fucking Prince's stupid banner with the pink horse. Oh no. And this commoner will take off his little feathered cap that he gets as a little captain and go, My lord, welcome to Tioche. No, wait, Aiken, excuse me, I'm so nervous, I'm forgetting where I live.
It's understandable, Captain. This is a time for nerves. I see you're preparing a march south. I think this is smart to help the commoners. I need to assemble the men, however. War has come, and those in fighting shape, I would call on to aid us.
He will point downwards the road to a gentle valley, or really more of a gentle divot within the earth, and will point out the cleared ranches where the knights and barons are currently assembling on horseback. The baron's down south, sir. I'm sure you'll be able to recognize him. He's currently organizing all the riders of Aiken. Yes,
Excellent.
Aiken is the correct word. Oh my goodness, I'm sweating, sir. I apologize.
I appreciate your fine work, sir. Let us make sure you keep these young and old and enfeebled and sick safe. And I guess we'll ride off, letting him do his thing, right?
You do so.
Taking care of those who can't fight.
You will do so. As you guys trot down the road, your horses being tired and unwatered, you will find an outright stable that is currently effectively reshoeing everyone as rapidly as they can, and tending to the horses that will be act as spares, I suppose. Most of these are simple riding horses. Few war horses truly exist in Livistio, but those that do exist within the great big ranches of Aiken. And you will find a... Why am I in Ursale's character sheet? I need to be in the Valley Riders of Aiken sheet. Let us show you some names. As well as some numbers. There we go. You head on over where you see a great big banner has been set up outside of a stable, and see about 30 to 40-ish people on the rightmost stable, currently saddling up, getting lances, literally gearing up, storing armor on their backs or just to their bodies. And then in the southern stable to your left, you will see a bit more light riders who seem to be less of financial means and assets, we'll call them. Where do you head to first, gang?
I think to the brass, right? Like, I was essentially told that these were reticent holdouts, right? So, I've come to make sure they join us, I guess, which it seems they're doing, but, you know, that involves a stop at top brass,
It's true.
I would guess.
Head...
Can I, like, split the party up slightly? Is one of you a good fast talker? Could you, like, get in these stables and get our horses, like, watered, brushed, like, get them in the top of the line or something?
Fast talker, you say?
Yeah.
Yancey volunteers.
Right.
Dysum starts, then cuts himself off.
I can tag along with Yonsei. I can make sure it all goes smoothly.
If you so desire.
Occur.
Yonsei, do you want his help?
I'm very
That
helpful.
remains to be seen, but you're free to join.
All right,
You
you
can-
two, please, let us make sure our horses are ready for the ride away from here. And then the rest of us, let's go see the brass.
Dysum, you dismount, scaring some of the horses, including the one that you were riding on that did not see you in his blind spot. Who just what the fuck? It says in horse. You grab some reins. Snefru, you hop off your horse. Ursale, you remove yourself from the horse's neck. having clung onto its shoulders for the most part. And Glynis, you dismount quite eloquently as a trained rider, or at least a practiced rider. Maybe not a cavalryman, but definitely a prince. You three head on over to
Right
where
side
a
saddle.
great big banner is, where you can see kind of a quaint little flag that has been planted down. You see the house crest of the leek family, L-E-E-K, named after the vegetable. It is quite literally a two-dimensional picture, white on the top, green on the bottom, on a field of blue. And at the top right of this flag, there is a horse head that has been depicted, signaling their cavalry nature. You head on over to the Count, not the Baron. The captain was just a fool. Tura Leeks, who is a old-ish guy. And I need somebody to roll me a 1d5 real quick.
No one called dibs on that?
And,
On it.
Oh my god.
You guys are too slow.
Cora, no.
Oh,
oh my
never mind.
god.
Got it.
Oh my goodness. It's a confirmed crit 5.
It is a confirmed crit 5. I'm going to give him 5+, guys. Turo Leeks is a veteran of war. He has ridden into combat dozens of times. He's exchanged lances with paladins, trained mounted combatants, and he has proved himself superior on more than one occasion. Chances are he is old enough to have been your grandfather's most veteran rider, and when you see his great big gray handlebar mustache that goes down almost to his pectoral muscles and neck, he turns to you, shaven of hair, which seems to have just been done recently, with a great big padded hood that he has pulled down on it. He's giving commands. He's asking people where they're at. He's being a proactive leader, and as you enter, he immediately eyes your banner. I need you to give me an insight check, Linus.
Oh, this guy does not like me, I'm sure. Insight starts with an I. Okay, there we go.
An 18, you can see he has open disdain for your banner. You're unsure if it's you, your family, or your banner.
Look, that means the banner's working. It's supposed to ruffle feathers, right?
You head on over to this guy who speaks with a far too gruff and stern voice that John can imagine. And he turns to you. Well, the Crown Prince has come! With a horse upon his flag.
Well, a unicorn, but I suppose no need to split hairs.
What is a unicorn
I appreciate
but a dumb-looking horse?
Magic?
I was about to say, unicorn is a very rare mythological creature, sir.
I apologize, sir. I have ridden hard this day, and the stress seems to have gotten the better of me. Let us start over. I take it that you are Count Leeks. I am Prince Marchette. I do not believe we've had the honor of meeting. I had heard word that Icon had been reticent to rally to the cause, and I was hoping to call upon my father's bannersmen to join. But I see you are already upon it, and I appreciate that.
Yes, of course. When the call to war has been summoned, we of Icon answer. And, like, several of his men-at-arms and knights are like, huzzah, yes, that's who we are. And you can see that there are a lot of old people here. I think the youngest one is, like, 39, and the eldest one is easily in his 60s, maybe even 70s. These guys are quite old. And it seems like they are very much in a boys' club from a generation before yours.
The Sons of Icon are well renowned amongst our people. I am glad to see them so vigorous. I ask, have you had orders from the front? It seems many people have gone over my head.
Your father has given us no orders. We raise ourselves.
Then, I would ask you to join me. I have a band of bowmen and infantry under my command, separate from the garrisons here. Adding the Sons of Icon and their fast and nimble horses would be of great advantage. I would desire to harry and harass the main host as they march upon our fortified position. I would ask you, join us.
Give me a persuasion check.
All right. I shall indeed. An 18.
Good God,
Nice.
these numbers. You're rolling hot today, Glennis.
I have the honeyed tongue. I just needed my whole crew back.
Pray tell, Princeling, what do you know of the usage of cavalry?
I then go into a long diatribe, like, directly from the library, right, of, like, the history of cavalry movements and flanking and, like, the using them to ride down infantry and to break, like, infantry lines on charges and, like, I don't know, I have the most scholarly recitation, like, prepared, right?
You give this scholarly recitation, and he will nod his head. Yes, but what do you know of commanding cavalry?
I will admit, I have not had a cavalry under my command to this date. However, I will have your expertise.
You will. For we will ride in support of you. But we will not join your army of unknown infantrymen who are unused to fighting with cavalry amongst their ranks. I know not
you
the
will ride in-
composition of your troops.
I also recite the entire composition of my troops. Clintus has been preparing for a test in the library, like, but the point is the Glennis like gives a court bow, right, like a practice bow from like the seat of power, and says, "This is all that I could ask for. Your support will greatly improve the chances that we can succeed in what we do. I would not take away your leadership or your command of your men. They seem to respect you greatly. I only ask that you ride with us and help us.
Where do you
defeat
muster?
this threat. We muster in Aeolian for now, as it is close enough to the main host, which I described marching if he doesn't know exactly from the most recent
He knows
missives.
where. He knows where it is.
Yeah, fair.
Understood. We shall ride there, and hopefully not outpace your adventurers and longbowmen.
They have a bit of a head start, but we'll see.
Indeed.
John, these cavalrymen, what sort are they? Are they bowmen on horse? Are they lancers?
They are lancers
Are
for
they-
the most part.
Got it.
So, let's do a quick composition check. Not that it'll matter too much for you guys, but in Icon, there are 40 knights, and in specifically the Valley Riders of Icon, there are an additional 60 mounted men-at-arms. These are effectively commoners who are bordering knighthood or low nobility, but are effectively like knights' friends who have wealth enough to purchase their own armaments and a horse. So they're quite wealthy commoners for the most part. Or they are vassals of the Count himself. The Icon's Unbloodied, which is effectively your generation's youngish nobles and other mounted friends, are effectively their own separate thing, because Tura himself does not approve of their style nor their inexperience. But they will ride regardless. They are also more numerous, albeit babes, and less equipped than their veteran neighbors. Let's go with neighbors. One of these, of the Icons Unbloodied, is Tura's son himself, who seems to be with the Knights. So roughly, there is 90, 40, 15... Wow, there's actually a lot more horsemen here than I thought there was. Roughly like 200, 230-ish riders are here, which easily doubles your own current Band of the Horde.
Hell yeah.
Excuse me. They will effectively form a singular block of cavalry, or maybe 2 units, and then sort of work their way towards Aelion.
All right. Well, that was fairly simple, I suppose. They're gonna ride in our support. I wasn't sure if I needed to politic, but all I had to do was walk up and ask.
Sure. Just imagine if
I assume
you guys
our
rolled double ones there, and then rolled like shit.
I suppose our horses are watered and resupplied and ready to ride. Is there any
They'll just
complication
switch them
there?
out.
Yeah,
At this point,
perfect.
people
Even
don't
better.
really care. Like, all horses are essentially government property at this point.
Say
or
bye,
they're about to
Dyson.
be.
And say hello to Dyson Jr.
Say hello, yeah. I guess, weirdly enough, these horses are from Icon anyway, so they're kind of right at home as you switch new ones out.
Brothers!
They're like, we're back from the castle, baby! We're not Glue yet!
There's like a side story that's all in subtitles as horses like neigh at each other.
It's like, you son of a bitch, and then 2 horsehoofs meet. It just like flexes their weird. Okay, John gets way off topic. Where to next, guys?
The plan was to meet up with the rest of the crew right after coming here. I suppose if there are fast riders that are recruitable in this area, right? Like some of the unbloodied or whatever you called them. I would like to take like essentially like 2 messengers, right? And be like, ride your ass to Lorna and ride your ass to Marshone and like sound the alarm. Like you can get there really fast, probably, right?
How
if they
far
don't
are
already
how
know.
far are those?
Far.
Lorna,
That's why we're
from,
not going there.
Lorna from Icon is across a forest, and no rider is going to take that route. Forest and cavalry do not mix well, and this is like specifically rugged forest where there used to be a chimera a month ago, which you guys.
Well,
have
good
slain.
news, not a chimera anymore.
Yes, but
okay,
monsters
I guess
are still there, right?
yeah.
Uh,
Fair enough.
What they will do, and what they've already done, is started to head to Tioche and Marchion. Effectively, everyone is spreading the word that war is on.
Yeah.
Little unmarked villages that live in the woods, as well as just unmapped, barely taxed hunters, are effectively like grabbing their longbows and heading to secret fortresses to effectively muster and prepare for what they will call the shooting gallery. John will change the music.
Sounds good. I guess I am trying to be productive, but if you know, if everybody's on top of their shit, then I guess I got nothing to do, right? Just ride back to my duders.
Yeah.
I was about to
You
say,
guys have an idea.
if necessary, I can skywrite and say Livistios is under attack.
I would imagine that if Skyrite is visible to Lorna from here, so too would be the burning city. Does this make sense?
Yeah, that
See
does make
the
sense.
smoke in the distance.
Yeah. So if
I'm
if they are
California. I
not,
know how fires work.
I don't know. If
Could
you
you also
would,
send your familiar with a note attached, if we really needed?
I could definitely send Tove somewhere if you need him to go somewhere.
it would be preferable, I suppose, to be able to, like, tell Muscle Mommy what my plan is. I don't know what hers is, but
It's
I
a
assume
familiar
that her
spy.
main-
Shoot it! They just got it.
I don't necessarily need you to send anything. I think everybody's just really good at war around here, I guess, and we're not.
Everyone's real good at war.
Yeah, they're doing their thing, I guess. I don't know.
I want to do.
If you think that skywriting would help,
Canonically, I feel like the prince is discovering that he is surrounded by competent adults, and he's like, "Hang on a second,
yeah,
thought I was in charge."
This is contrary to everything I've ever known.
right. Yeah. Like, oh.
I want to do a quick character check-in, as John is going to move the clock a bit forward and get people in places where they've already agreed to go. And I think I'm going to start with Ursale this time. Ursale, you have grown up and sort of lived on the fringe of Livistian society. You, I don't think, were old enough to even have participated in any war as a fellow quote-unquote countryman of this place. You now, a champion of the bear, also known as a barbarian, now for the first time kind of see the way in which these humans organize themselves, which is much different than the tribal life. What is going through Ursale's head as he is seeing people do stuff?
I think a lot of it is just like, still kind of like through one ear and out the other, of he's picking up on like the broad strokes of what's going on, and like the relationships between the individual people and things like that are not lost on him. But oh, we need to go to that town and send a raven here, and the horse is there. It's like, well, okay, sure. Yeah, that's not something that he can follow all that well. And I think it's just like a little complicated for what he's used to, which is just go to a place, solve a problem, and then be done, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, as you see the noise and movement and traffic of people in larger communities, we move then to Dizem. Dizem, you too are kind of a fish out of water here, but you come from the ocean. The ocean is always in conflict. There are no alliances that are made, for no one can talk, but still, the species of fish, the myriad cephalopods, the other more plant-like matter, they all sort of vie in a same environment, albeit with another dimension of going up and down, more so than what a human can do or a terrestrial creature could do. What is going through Dizem's head as he exchanges horses and looks at just how busy everyone is?
Dizem comes from a place of non-stop changes and conflict. One day something might be there in the ocean, and the next day it is 100 miles away in a different place, and you'll never see that thing again. So this is more changing into the pace of what Dizem's normally used to, of constant chaos, things being in problems, and you might not be able to fix all of them. You probably won't be able to fix most of them. But the things you can fix, you do fix. And the things you can do, you try your best doing.
Okay. It's very insightful, I suppose. Dizem, you remount your horse, which I believe is Dizem 3 now? This is the third Dizem horse?
I think
It might be the second one.
it's just Dizem still. I think it's my second. My horse was still. My horse.
It's like Air Force One. Any horse he's on is Dyson.
Look, that is Dizem.
Dizem, you mount up and follow the flow of people and other horses, effectively riding a proverbial current to a new destination. We then jump to Snafru, the War Mage, the guy who spent his whole wizarding career getting ready to throw down with other spellcasters on behalf of a court that he'd be appointed to. The time has come, Snefru. You have trusty Fireball. Do you have trusty Counterspell as well?
I do have trusty Counterspell.
You're ready to rock and roll then.
But I don't know if I got a long rest from the boars, so I only have 1 third level right now.
You would have had a long rest, yes. Everyone did.
I have 2 third levels right now. Watch out.
Watch out.
Oh, Snefru is excited. Snefru's like, these lancers, their horses. Sorry. Their horses look very trained. There's a great advantage to having experienced veteran lancers. They could greatly buffet our ranged cohorts. I'm just hoping that we don't lose the advantage of our great walls in the castle and the keep. We must watch for people trying to dig and burrow and fire the walls. Or for other magics, such as pass wall.
Wow. That sounds like
Snefru,
crazy magic.
you are looking forward to this. Does it ever cross your mind that hundreds of people are about to die? And if so, do you care?
He does, because where they made landing isn't far from Brennick's scriptorium, and he's worried about his friend in Old Town. So that's not something he expected, because in the books it's just numbers. This many knights fell, and this many, this is how many cities fell. It's like, oh, but Marco. I hope Marco's okay. I didn't check on Marco. Stupid T-pose virus. So he's not too worried about the people around him, because he has a action he can take to help protect the people directly around him. But yes, he is getting the smallest beginning of the glimpse into loss of life and warfare. Maybe, hopefully, maybe not.
Okay. And then we jump to Yonsei. Yonsei, just for everyone else to know, you come from a country that has never stopped being at war. Zwan to the north acts as a great wall against the demons and fiends from over a century ago, their remnants having absconded to barren places of the world. In fact, I think one of your things of coming here to Livistio is that it was peaceful. And now that peace is interrupted, potentially permanently. What is going through Yonsei's head as they're realizing that change is a-comin'?
Well, fuck. First thought every morning. God, fuck. I mean, I feel like there is some advantage to like being from a place that was constantly like fighting and at war, is that like you kind of get used to it. And then they were like, like nothing is ever gonna come over the wall. We have some of the best soldiers. Like I live in a castle. Like who's gonna bother me? Of course, none of them also appreciated the arts because they were always fighting all the time. And Yonsei was being forced to learn how to fight with a sword, and that's just bad. So leaving was nice. And Yonsei's a very privileged individual that does not have any concept of like bad things happen to people sometimes. You can't just like leave and go somewhere better sometimes, And so for now to be like walking into a battle It's like, oh god, this fucking cousin. Like, I came here to like write plays and like eat grapes. Like, and now I gotta go fight some people. Like, how did this? Why? How? What? You know, like, So whenever Yancey is not actively doing something, she is having like a panic attack. Just like in the back. She's like, we're going to war, we're going to war, we're going to war, we're going to war.
Between these bouts of panic attack and, you know, keeping a front and doing a task for your cousin, who does Yancey blame for this conflict, this disruption of enjoying, you know, cuisines, pretending to be a prince, not having to worry about espionage charges brought against you?
Definitely blame Njord. Like, this was totally one-sided. Like, Njord just, like, lost her cookies. Like, we could have been fine. Like...
We could have been fine.
We could have been fine. We could have disliked each other from a distance. We didn't have to touch.
Okay. With a one-sided perspective, we can call it. Yancey, you ride off onto the roads. I don't want to call it self-centered, but... No, yeah, it's kind of self-centered, yeah, for sure. And
what else was Yancey to do? Think of other people? Come on.
True. Last but not least is Glynis. Glynis, you expected you'd need to act as a leader, and here you are, surrounded apparently by somewhat competent people from the past generation who used to live in a world of violence and conflict. And as you're starting to watch these old leaders come out of what was effectively retirement to pick up a banner once more, grab a lance, and yell at a young blood, what is going through Glynis's mind as he eventually rejoins his Band of the Horn?
I don't know. I think Glynis is just trying to find, like, his goal before the war was to prove himself in, like, campaigns, essentially, right? He wanted to build up his reputation and prove his own power to other people, but also himself, right? But so I guess he's not in the position he wanted to be in, but now that we're here, we're essentially ready to rumble, I guess, right? It's like, everybody seems to be doing their own thing, and they don't want to listen to me, but that's chillin' because we're here now, right? There's no more decisions to be made, really. At least not on a scale that will go over my head, right? And this isn't a small campaign in the outskirts of the region or like a monster hunt or something like I thought it would be, but this is where I envisioned, right? Like earning my stripes atop the horse amongst the battlefield. So I think as he rejoins his troops and like gets to the front, what was probably a little more of a petulant, scatterbrained prince is calm and focused and is like, we're where I needed to be, even if it is not where I thought or how I thought it would go about.
Okay. Things rarely going as planned in this world. You will make it to Eileen on the 16th, which is a holiday within the country, territory, region of the world, the subcontinent of Eos Minoris. It is known as the Silver Scoundrel Springtime Solstice. You will find out that this is effectively the holiday that celebrates spring truly beginning, which was not truly plotted by me, but it just so happens to land upon this day. You make it to the Aelian garrison, and we'll hear immediate news how the forces of Niord have fully overrun your sister's domain, which wasn't even attempted to be defended, and have started to fortify and send out raiding parties as well as detachments to effectively skirmish and screen the main force as more and more unknown Niordian numbers are streaming from the hills further north, coming this way. Yeah. You also will hear of the city development occurring. And I need to roll some dice to see how that is actually going, because I don't know. I have not done that little bit of auto-resolving just yet. Who are on these boats? Okay, numbers are slightly more in favor of Livistians. By slightly, I mean a fucking lot. So John has created a new mass combat system, which we will engage with periodically, if at all. Sometimes John just likes playing D&D by himself to settle how combats can happen without just narratively declaring one side's the winner. Because although that makes sense for stakes, there is a random chance that things go right for sides that John does not expect them to. I love having chance play as a key figure in my games. We'll have the red dice be Niord. Oh my god. Okay, that is day 1. And day 2. You are hearing news that on the first day, the Livistian defenders managed to hold their ground and almost pushed the Niordians back into the river itself before another wave / reinforcements of Niordians came to be ferried over and essentially plug gaps in the Niordian line. And on this day, as you guys make it to Aelian, excuse me, the Livistians are doing what is known as a tactical withdrawal to more defensible buildings and structures, and effectively have ceded the northern tip of the island. You haven't heard news of your father or what he's doing. For all you know, he could just be in the castle waiting. You hear nothing about the garrison either. This is like purely militia fighting Niordians for the past 2 days. And this is the news that you hear when you reach Aelian, where there is a really cool gravedigger currently making a picket line and having people dig a ditch. And he greets you, I'm a prince. What's my
Nobody
voice?
better to dig a ditch.
Right?
Nobody.
This
How's
ditch
it
is
going,
impenetrable.
Your
I want you to know
Highness?
that. How is it going? We're at war, my friend. I suppose that is better news for you than it is for me. But
That's true, isn't it?
it is. I'm glad we have one such as capable as you to guide our hands digging this trench. I don't know what else to say to you.
Well, if you're waiting for the
Dang.
battle like it looks like you are, you may have to dig your own fire pits and get ready to support us. Currently, we are in the stand around and see what the enemies are doing phase.
Well, I have a very mobile troop, and I have the ability to harass at range. They have their shield. They raiding parties. They have their shield of the main host. Ideally, If my preparations were successful, we have a host gathering and readying themselves to march from Lorna. If we can defeat these raiding parties, open up the host to a strike from behind, perhaps we will be victorious. If Eileen seems about to fall, I would not let it. I, of course, would join the battle, but I think my forces are better used in the field.
So you're, what then, heading south to Lerna to raise the banners high? Get that red-bladed woman out here?
From what I've seen of the country, they're surprisingly competent and self-motivated. I am confident that they will come.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Alrighty.
Are you, like, in charge? Is this your
Until
phone?
the Baron comes home.
Are you in charge?
Okay. Fair enough. Out
Where
of
is Baron?
curiosity, I assume in the castle, right? He was there when we left.
I have no idea. The Baron's a slippery foe. Even to his favorite friends.
I do have a question. You are such a knowledgeable gravedigger. Is the Baron's special lady friend still in his abode?
Unless she went chasing after that young tiefling of yours. I don't see why she wouldn't be.
That would explain why he left. All right. Glynis chooses to believe he's out just like having himself a time.
That's one word
I
for it.
suggest to the gravekeeper, perhaps not so subtly, that there be a pair of eyes kept on her while the wartime is going on.
As you say, Your Highness. As you say. You look at the composition of this guy's army, or force, I suppose. You see that there are, like, 150-ish to 200 guys who quite literally look like maniacs. Many of their eyes are just, like, unfocused, and as they're digging, they seem driven into a fervor. A madness, almost. The other 600 levies, these regular townspeople who have effectively been conscripted and given either short bows or simple spears or just tools to help with the manual labor, also seem kind of in a daze. A little bit bewildered about, like, what's going on. Why are we digging a trench? I mean, what? Some of them not even knowing there appears to be a war going on. As one just suddenly breaks down. It's like, we've been digging for 2 days! And then the shovel man just, like, picks up a rock and chucks it at his general direction. And says, get back to work, sonny. Someone's gotta dig these graves. It can't be all me. Which seems to cow the guy to continue digging.
I mean, as unsettling as this man is, and his seemingly potentially powers, well, maybe there's going to be a bounty on his head one day too. I don't know, but I tend to think that we're better off just letting him do his thing. I have a feeling that this guy and Bronson are self-interested enough and, I don't know, perhaps powerful enough to keep this place safe. Under their control, I suppose. I don't know. Unless you guys are really interested in bunkering down and trying to, like, dethrone the crazy man and help out the duders, I think we have other things to do. I don't know.
John, can I have my familiar do something we've practiced and fly high and look for enemy positions and maybe banners?
Yeah, Totally. Familiars are a known tactic to use for scouting. They're only effective when they get back to the 100 feet, which allows you to telepathically control. But you can effectively throw your, or rather send off your familiar into the air to look around, and then effectively piece back through their photographic memory or their visual sensory effects to find out what's going on. It is the closest thing wizards can get to having an actual drone with a camera attached to it.
So I get Tove on the saddle, and I hold up a mouse. I feed him the mouse. I go, okay, Tove. Okay, Tove, just like we practiced. Fly high, very high, higher than you think. I don't want to bring you back again. You don't want to get shot. We've been over this. Just like we practiced, just like Master taught us. Look for banners. Look for one with a hammer.
Sure enough, you go and do it. It sounds like you guys are going to be hanging out around Aleon for a little bit, which means your duders will begin to camp and take supporting actions and roles amongst the garrison, which outnumbers your force plus your rider allies. About, well, they have 700 to 800 men here, so quite a bit of people. I think you guys are just above 300 right now.
I'm okay,
Yeah, what's up?
I'm okay sitting and hanging out in this camp, briefly, but, I think the idea is to go places, right?
Okay.
We're like a guerrilla unit.
Right.
I guess.
We're gonna
So
do
I'm not-
counter raiding and
Yeah.
Supply
I guess
line
that's my thought.
harrying.
We might blow up a
like
bridge
that.
because it might be the best idea we have. But I guess I don't want to be suddenly 30 days have passed
Yeah,
sitting in the garrison.
we
and we're
won't move that
sieging,
quickly.
right?
Just for the immediate future, as scouting takes place, effectively when someone wants to do something, I'm always going to go around the table to see if anyone else wants to do something
Sure.
in the meantime.
Yeah. All right.
Your group is effectively doing camping or setting up to camp while this is happening. So, Yonsei, Glynis, or Sale Dizem, do you have any activities you want to do while Snefru is busy puppeting his drone?
Around.
Let's talk about blowing up the bridge.
Yeah.
You guys talk about
Which
So-
bridge? The bridge into the keep? Was that your...
Yeah. Yonsei suggested it, and their suggestion was good at the paladin place.
I have good
We-
suggestions sometimes.
Yeah, it worked out. I'm wondering if we do that, probably bad idea overall, but it would prevent them from going into the castle. It'd also prevent the castle from coming out to us if they were to support us. I'm also wondering if perhaps what if we didn't blow up the bridge, but our navy did? I remember from your map, our navy is just hanging out in the back of the castle, just chilling, being chilling. Alferos, I'm sure, could send a fair number of troops to that bridge, grappling hooks and whatnot, tear it down, or maybe even just defend the shit out of it. Do you think we could get in contact with them and have that happen, or should we just walk down there tonight and see if we can throw enough shatter spells at it to vent it?
take out a support meeting.
Because
and just-
the two of us could just walk down there in an afternoon. The chances of getting overrun by an enemy force are kind of small.
Bridges are very good defensive points because it forces the enemy to funnel themselves slowly through a single area. So if we get rid of that bridge, they're going to be forced to spread themselves thinner across a bigger area to try to get in.
Yeah, the bridge to the keep, I think, is a last resort to destroy. I thought we were initially talking about the bridge into Livistone.
That's
That
what I was
one
talking
makes
about.
okay.
Oh,
Not
there are
the
two
one into the
bridges. I
castle.
thought there was just
There are
one
two
bridge.
bridges, yeah.
I thought everyone was talking about this bridge.
Yes.
Yeah, because this bridge makes more sense.
This is
strategically.
this is what I thought was being suggested and discussed.
That one?
Um,
That's not the bridge into the keep, though. That's the bridge into the town.
yeah,
This
bridge
is
into the town.
Okay.
Keep.
Pardon my unfamiliarity with keep town dynamics. You'd think the prince would know these things, but
God, pay attention.
Your Highness, I think if we destroy that bridge, you're gonna get thrown in the dungeon again.
I mean,
which bridge?
The best bridge.
Damn it, Yonsei.
Snaffer, as you see that, your eyes suddenly go towards where you can physically see Tove, like a mile or two away. And there's, like, one guy shooting an arrow that's just, like, not going far enough to hit him. Longbow's range, after all, is 600 feet. At its most maximum distance before the arrow loses all of its kinetic force. I just focus on this freaking happening as they seem to have spotted your owl.
Yeah, this right here was the bridge I was talking about, because that bridge leads into the town, and if we cut off, especially this regiment's access to the town, I think that'll help the ones that are currently fighting the invasion right now. But also will prevent us from being able to get in there to help later.
I think...
And our troops.
Yeah.
Blowing up the bridge is only a good idea if we're already in danger of being overrun, either from inside the city back to the gate and letting the main force in, or that gate is already in danger of being overrun, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's the situation yet.
Alright, so let's not just walk our ass down to the bridge and start throwing shatter spells. But maybe we can try to get in contact with the Navy? Because I don't know what they're doing, and it might be helpful if we got them, right? Even if they just sit in the river and shoot arrows at people, right? Like, along the side, it would at least force a response from this main host. It would distract them. It would make our raiding easier, buy us time for our main hosts, hopefully, to come smash them.
Yes.
As you guys talk about this and the feasibility of the plan, I'm going to move us an hour or so forward in the clock, maybe even 2, as Tove makes the harrowing flight above the terrain that you had started this adventure in. The future Duchess and her territory, which is effectively a big sawmill currently. You see that a camp has been built up and erected around this great big sawmill. You see plenty of flags, and I need Snefru to make me a history check as he sees some banners that he has never seen in person before, but will undoubtedly have read about while on route. Oh my fucking god. Why would I even narrate? Why do I narrate why
Natural
you guys
20.
do the checks? Why don't you just roll nat 20s all the time? Well, Snefru, you get to identify everyone as Tove hands, or wings, I should say, effectively his hands, flap tiredly back. You link up with him as he crashes into the earth, exhausted, having done what is essentially a lightning run. Or over above the entire Neordian force. And as you tell him, "Remember, Tove, who did you see?" You would have indeed seen the banner of a certain gavel with a crown upon its top part. Whatever that part of the hammer is called, I'm forgetting.
Head?
Its base. Yeah, the top of its head, that works. You did not see the man known as Emil Hammer at all, but you also saw 3 other flags which seem to be leading this main force, or at least the vanguard of the Neordians. You saw Prince Ragnar's flag. His great big emblem of a Neordian crown over what appeared to have been a shield made out of a bug. Maybe it was a boule shell. In fact, after telling him to just keep thinking about that and studying it, it sort of morphs into a clearer picture of a boule shells with a crown above it. Then you saw a crown that had been broken in half on a field of golden wheat, which you would recognize as the half-brother Steen, Steen, of Bjornstein, the father of Bjornstein, or the Bjornstein Bears. Excuse me, that was a bad joke. I'm sorry. I gotta go. And lastly, the third and final flag, or fourth technically, and final flag, is a orc skull that seems to be bleeding from its lips and jaw, that also has a small crown upon its head, which you would recognize as Prince Vidar's flag.
So Vidar's in the, vanguard. Okay, cool.
It's
That's
true.
helpful. So, Ragnar, I don't have a
report
lot
all
of
this to my
notes
prince.
on. Was Ragnar the one in the city of the
Rien.
tower, Rien?
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
that's why I don't have notes in this spot. It's farther. in.
With
Yes,
the weird Italian man.
Yes,
Yeah, the
yes.
cobbler.
he's-
Make
Yeah,
shoes.
So Ragnar's that
Tony
Vidar.
Risotto.
Vidar is the student of the hammer. He's one of the people we were warned about.
By
Badar is
the-
our friend.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
Vidar. Yeah,
Bjornstein,
Vidar's our
yeah.
friend. Yeah. Bjornstein.
Yeah, Bjornstein,
was
yeah.
the one. Yeah. The name I didn't hear was Emel, who is supposed to be leading this this force.
Indeed.
That's what the gavel banner represents,
He is the hammer.
I think.
Done. Okay.
Mhm.
Yep.
No, he's not. Emel is not the hammer. Hold on. Anyway, I don't really care. I guess these things matter, but at the end of the day, they're
Well, it gives us a goal.
Why
Our
are they
plan
all
with
together?
Vidar-
Wasn't the last time we heard is that they all fucking hated each other?
Yes.
well, they're getting led to. They all hate each other, but they're essentially all in the same fighting force, trying to prove that they're the best ones, right? The hammer is gonna essentially play kingmaker and be like, this is the one that showed the kingly shit when we crushed the Livistians, is the vibe we were getting. So yes, they don't like each other, but they're
Yeah. I'm just wondering, is there a head of the snake situation? Kill the hammer and just tell the rest of them, hey, go home.
More like a basket of rats.
I think
Basket
the
of
idea
rats
is
situation.
if we can take out Ragnar and Bjornstein, which puts Vidar in a positive situation with Emil, then we have leeway. We have negotiating power. We have potential.
the idea,
Yeah.
or at
I
least
don't
what was
think we have to kill all of them,
yeah.
But we
I agree.
could.
but we could.
I agree. No, I agree. But the idea, at least, that was floated back at the party was that that Vidar would help us in this thing at the right time. I think the exact words he said, when it was time to crush the hammer, right? So if we can set up a situation where the hammer is exposed to us / our goons, who are big fighting force, and Vidar at his back, or just the only one around him, we could crush the hammer and perhaps end the war without necessarily doing everything else. So the reason that I am trying to be really mobile is I want to expose the hammer, right? Essentially, this has been my thought process from the beginning of this,
Want to
right?
expose that hammer, huh?
Yeah, I've heard
Can we
I've
take a quick
heard
break
some
on that
rumors,
little
just
joke?
needed to verify for myself. Okay.
Let's take a very quick break. We had a late start, and we have just hit our 1.5 hour mark. And I desperately need to run to the restroom. Guys, we'll be right back here in just a little bit. we are back after that short break. Our crew is deciding their next action. The fog of war has become a little bit less obtuse now that you can quite literally see the enemy. Tove has reported back on some positions that are occurring in the future duchy of whatever this will be called when it effectively is. And now we get to either play the waiting game for things to happen and be reactionary, or we be proactive. There were talks on break about getting into the city. I will point out for everyone, the city is currently under contest. Militia units seem to be fighting, but there's no word on the garrison, nor of any plan that has been put into motion. You're unsure what this environment is like for those who are currently trapped in the city. For people want to leave through the bridge, they will be under threat of Neordians, literally cutting them off. Or they have to wait for the supply fleet, which is docked over here somewhere, ferrying them from private military ports onto the rest of the mainland. So I turn this over to the party. Where can we best put our uses? Where do we wish to go?
From Beyonce's experience, it is the experience of you pick a place to stay, and you defend that place, and you don't go anywhere, and you let the enemy come to you. So, if we were going to try and do that thing that my uncles and aunts and our grandparents are all very good at, Gilly, we'd pick a spot, and we'd stick there, and it's got to be pretty high up. It's got to have nice, barriers around us. It's got to be wall-shaped, I think. And then we just stay there, and we kill anything that gets too close.
So typically Swan.
Thank you. If we want to do that in that situation, I think we can get on the bridge and defend from the bridge and make sure that no one else enters the city, and just trust that the Baron, the hot lady Baron, will eventually come up and fuck him in the ass with her giant sword. I don't know.
So just to understand, Beyonce, you're recommending we launch a full-on raid, secure the bridge, and maybe possibly secure a route for civilians into Eileen.
I mean, I don't know about that second part. I don't think you heard me when I said you stay there. Usually citizens that leave the area that you've decided is yours die, and in Zuan we call that being stupid. So you don't usually leave that area.
Well, Zuan is not an island.
Almost. If they had water, we'd be island-ish, but it's in a desert, Snefru.
Well, that's an actionable plan. Have our lancers break up and start the raid, and we move in with our range and slowly retreat into the city and hold the bridge.
I think the problem with not going for the bridge is that we are just leaving open a funnel.
Yeah, I feel like
That
guarding
funnel
that
right now
funnel-
breaks our forces.
To build off of this strategy, if we go in, we can also help reinforce our militiamen and try to push the Neordians off of our city. And if we correctly defend that, we can force them all through the funnel that we're trying to defend.
Okay.
So,
how's everyone feel about that?
The funnel doesn't work though. We run into the city and then we break the bridge, and they can't use it either.
So I think we should think about the fact that
we do that as they run away.
These people are raiding our lands out here, and we don't want them to be doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
The longer we leave them unharried in those actions, the worse it is for our people, the worse it is for the lands, the worse it is for the bears. I would rather attempt to mitigate what they're doing on that front.
So you're proposing we launch a raid from our current position, or guerrilla through the woods?
Yeah, that we can come up and flank around, and if they've got raiding parties coming towards, like, the farmland over here, like, we can get there and stop them.
You know what? That's a really good idea, Ursali. Sorry, that's a really good idea, Ursali. Because if we flank to the south here, and as His Majesty said, attack their left flank, that will draw their attention, and we have two options there. We can keep raiding, and we can enter into our guerrilla conflict, or we could lead mock charges and lead them down to our hopefully incoming support from Leorna. And so that would break the enemy's forces into smaller sections on that flank.
I just think it leaves the capital too undefended.
If sieging a capital is a lot of work, Yancey. If the garrison rolls out, I think we don't have to worry about at least Old Town and the keep itself.
Either the king is crazy, insane, on the side of the enemies, in which case perhaps we've lost regardless of what we do, or he has a plan to hold the city.
It takes
or
a
at least
to hold
the
city,
keep.
and a lot of
I think
men to solve the city.
we go with our initial plan. We work with the Countess Malo of Leorna, and we harry the left flank using the Band of the Horn.
Out of curiosity, is the old man with us? Do we still have Jeeves, or is he just, or did he like off screen just start hanging out in Livistone?
I think you guys told him
Argyle?
to live in Livistone.
Okay,
We sent him off.
fair enough.
I mean, there's a non-zero chance that he could have just followed your army anyway. As a bumbling old man that he is. Roll me just a
D100.
flat luck die, and if you roll, let's say above a 16 through 20, Argyle snuck back into your camp and has just been hiding out as like a common soldier, even though he's like 90 years old.
No,
Ugh.
he's just like in the trenches digging. Yeah.
He is apparently in Livistone, living on someone's good graces who knows who he is, as he kind of just shuffles around the town.
Probably the Count, just because we did such a good job of clearing out their bullywug problem.
Like, yes, Argyle, your prince is on his way. One day he'll show up to come get you. It's like,
The only reason I asked was, I have this thought in my head that the king might desire to lose the city and stay in his keep. And let them siege the keep. Because he gave me that, like, we'll get our war speech when we told him about the shapeshifter. And he's a little bit darker than normal, or at least he has been recently, or darker than than his reputation. Argyle called him a warmonger. If Argyle was around, perhaps we could ascertain the truth of that, but unless we really think that the king's going to let the city fall on some pretense, I think we're better served outside of the city. This is where we were sent. This is where we've set up all of our plans. we could, I suppose, get ourselves in the city relatively easily, but I don't know how useful like 400 cavalry riders are in city combat, which is the vast majority of our forces, right? And we do have some longbowmen, which could like defend the walls, but again, I think in the city we're talking kind of like hand-to-hand combat in the streets type of thing, and we're just not a really big infantry force. I think the makeup of our people is a lot more geared towards riding, harassing. I think that we could split the difference and start our harassment here to try to alleviate pressure on the bridge, and then, you know, we're not going to win a head-to-head fight, but we can start killing here and then ride into the forest and just put pressure on just this like advanced front, stop the raids as much as we can, and force them to do something, right? Force them to turtle up, right? Force them to expand, and when they do that, we'll have an opportunity to adjust our plan, right? I think a good idea might be to try and contact the Navy, because I think like support from the river could be good. Like, it could be very beneficial. I think that's the plan that the prince proposes, having listened to everyone.
Well, you know, I guess that makes sense because in Zuan we eat horses because they're so useless on walls. So, you know, I completely forgot about them, to be honest. I was like, that's our cattle.
The centaur
gonna be
just
our
like
food,
pulls at their
but-
shirt
We
collar.
just had burgers.
That's canon now. Write that down, John.
You got it. So if you wanted to contact your navy, you will know that there are supply ships that are, well, they were stuck here anyway because of your actions, which I suppose is good because they're now ferrying people out of the city. There's nothing stopping anyone from, like, getting on a boat and going into it. They might view you as, like, a crazy person, but you guys could just go into the city if you wanted to. And that way you could contact potentially the real Navy, which seems to be in this area last you heard. But you're unsure if this has changed. Since the only Yonsei has actually seen where the Navy is. Everyone else is wondering where it is.
Well, we have her notes, or his notes, right? We have
Hers.
yeah, we have his notes, and I guess I've been using them as like this is where we started in my brain, right? Maybe I'm constantly going back to Yonsei and being like, I don't understand your shorthand. What does this mean?
If you turn it sideways, you'll see
Right,
a little guy
okay.
in a boat.
But I think I don't know. Does that sound like a good idea? Should we even contact the Navy, or I kind of want to be proactive in some way personally. I feel like if we ride to, you know, what is it, 80 miles to the Navy and then get on a boat, go in the city, try to find Admiral Kilgore, you know, then come back, like, we'll have lost whatever initiative we may have. If we could send like a gravekeeper or a grave digger who seems to be quite competent, maybe that would work. But I'm of the opinion that if it can't be done with like a letter or something, perhaps we trust in our superiors to have a good plan.
The only thing is that, if I'm correct, it is like specifically the King's Navy. Like, he's the guy that hired the pirates and those guys to do that stuff. And so whatever plan the King has, it might include that Navy. And so if we go all the way over there, they're like, sorry man, we already have orders from the King.
Yeah,
I
agree. Like, walking over there, spending the time to go there ourselves and then getting rebuffed would be like a catastrophic loss of time. I agree.
I think we use our advantage
I think
of counter raiding and speed and the knowledge of the land and just start harassing like them, if possible, their supply lines, and them trying to get more food by raiding our land.
I like that.
Yep, I like that.
I guess we counter raid, John.
Okay.
I distribute word to the Sons of Icon and to Count Leek, and I tell the Boolean merchant or mercenary who's now just a Livistian in charge of our little band, like kind of what the idea is. And I think we're gonna split the difference from just like going through the forest here, which I think would take a long time anyway. And then we're gonna go towards this area in the bridge and deal with the raids happening here, and then maybe pivoting southward as necessary. But I think our first stop is there.
Okay. When you say this one, you mean the top one, right? One I'm pointing
Yeah,
at?
here. I don't know why, but sometimes my stuff. Yeah, this one here.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
You will move to engage. We love moving to engage as you and the Band of the Horn group up. You say we're moving out. It'll take some time to get the... well, actually, they'll ask you, are we planning on coming back here after we camp? Or, after we pack up camp? Or should we just keep our camp here? Where are you guys wanting to set up your headquarters, I suppose?
I think Eileen is a good, like, unofficial headquarters. I think we could eventually change that, but basing our counter raids and harassment out of Eileen seems very reasonable to me.
Okay. I will put a big hot pink HQ there in respect for your borders colors.
Absolutely. Sorry, not hot pink, magenta.
Magenta, excuse me.
Respect the color scheme, okay?
Worked
Guys,
very
I'm
hard
gonna
on
blow
this
the fuck
magenta.
out! No! This can't be happening! The war just started and I'm at disastrous loss! And you guys will battle. Summoning the Sons of Icon, who you get into contact with, and you're like, why the fuck are we standing around here? And the old man who listens to you says, yes, it is foolish to waste time on the defense when we could be attacking the invaders. Let's go, your highness. And he seems down for this. He will leave the Unbloodied to stay unbloody in case something happens and the Eileen garrison needs to be supported. But he will follow you into battle.
Excellent.
John has to check something, specifically of numbers. The Band of the Horn. 122. No, 120 people. Plus you guys. Plus the son of Sigus. As well as this veteran lieutenant. Oh, excuse me.
And our goal is to do a quick harrying hit and run raid, I imagine.
Essentially, yeah, if we're in a dominant position, right, we cavalry charge them, their infantry breaks, we run them down, right? But short of just a guaranteed total victory, right, like Shogun style, my concept of this is like counter raiding, harassment, hit and run, back to the forest type of stuff.
Okay, Snefru cast mage armor then.
You will cast mage armor on yourself. If anyone else wishes to cast spells, please do. Otherwise, you have enough meat shields to hang out with. I need to know which one of you is going with the riders, who's like on horseback, wanting to throw down on horseback, and who wants to stay with your main group. If you all want to stay put where you are, that's fine. I just need to know.
I think I told the big man that he would have control over his duders, so I don't want to like join them and like maybe undermine that, at least for now. So I think it would be beneficial for Glennis to stay with his kind of band, for lack of a better word.
Okay.
As the main wizard, Sneffer has to protect everyone with counterspell, so he's with our group.
All right. If anyone, does anyone want to go with the horsemen? Effectively, they're going to beat you to the fight. So those of you who want glory and bloodshed, please raise your hand now and get on a horse. All right, no one raised their hand.
Do you wish to send me with the out? I would be happy to stay here and protect you guys, but
If
you think it's best for me to be on the front line, I will.
If you are interested in savaging the front lines, I think you would be a good fit for it.
All right, I'll go with the cavalry, I guess.
All right.
Alrighty, I will add.
Sneffer really wants to go.
Hey, Bear Daddy, please live.
Sneffer is conflicted. Sneffer wants to kill.
I don't know if we're using the like champion stuff roles that you like talked about earlier, but it does make sense that our champion would be like the first one there if we needed, right? He can do champion things and throw down.
How far off are they from the battle?
We have not even gotten. This is pre-deployment. No,
Okay.
like you
So,
guys are quite
giving a bardic
literally
inspiration
organizing
would not
yourselves
matter.
now.
Yeah, I think the idea is that just the horses are faster than us, so they're probably. Well, how long does bardic last? Like a minute? I think it's
10
probably
minutes.
10 minutes. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure that they would last that long.
You should come with me, Snefru. We can always redeploy with the main force afterwards.
Very tempting. I need permission from my prince, though.
Oh, you absolutely have it. If you desire to ride ahead, please nuke them all for me.
Sneffer rides ahead.
Sneffer, you ride ahead, which is good because that means spellcasters are getting distributed. Okay, so John made fancy new mass combat rules that he is planning to test out a little bit here. I've already mentioned that. Some of you have access to the sheet. It's, you know, I want to do one more pass over before I publicly release it to everyone. Just, you know, Corin bugs me every single time whenever I make any new document or rule set. He demands to critique my work at every opportunity and reads it in a funny voice to mock me. And I, like a fool, every time fall for it and give in to his demands. So he knows a little bit about what is going on. But for those of you at home, and those of you just hearing about this for the first time in this call, sorry, first of all, second of all, it's effectively going to be two competing D6 rolls with simple +1, +2, -1, -2 modifiers attached to them. Biggest number wins, and by the difference, a result will be had. So if you lose by 10, for instance, if, you know, the opposing side stacked all the modifiers they could, rolled a 6, and just obliterated you, you lose 9/10 of your army, and you LOL die. It's very sad, very, very disastrous. However, even if you win by a certain number, people do not tend to go down without a fight. We live in a magical, deadly world where most people don't have above 20 hit points, and you guys are the outliers, which we have to remember. Also, we have abstracted combat, so there's not going to be turns, there's not going to be combat rounds. Spells and spell usages are their own modifier added to the total roll. So if you can spread your spellcasters out to multiple units, you're going to get more benefits. Because we only care about who is the highest number or highest level spellcaster. We don't care how many spellcasters you have. In theory, an archmage with 9th level spell slots will look at, you know, 52nd level, you know, doofuses and be like, alright, time to bust out the meteor swarm. And we'll just sort of win the magical duels. There's also, for creatures, we have monster rules. We don't worry about that right now, because unless how you materialize a dragon, we don't care. But cavalry is one, which the Neordians lack. Livistio has a major advantage by just having access to cavalry. And as your cavalry runs forward, your army in support chasing after them, You are going to engage upon these guys, who will fight because they can't outrun horses. Okay. Thank you so much for listening to me. You guys are numerically equivalent, so no bonuses will be there. No one's surrounded or besieged yet in a fortification. No one's surprised. They see you coming. They're not fortified. None of one is desperate. The country's not on fire after all. Allied spellcaster. These guys do not have a spellcaster, so they will get a -1. We are technologically equivalent. No one has flying. You guys have cavalry. No one's retreating. Veterancy is equivalent. Your army is supported. Theirs is not. And we don't care about rested or tired right now. Alright, so they are going to get a -1 to this roll. You are going to get a +2 for spell mastery and for your champions who are currently actively fighting. For a total of +4. Alright. You guys want black or white for my d6s here?
Black.
Okay. The cavalry comes
Always
in.
bet on black.
John throws on combat music for the half-second combat that is about to go down. Where are you? My beautiful, beautiful rat battle. We will play the Wild Hunt. Alright. Oh my goodness. You guys rolled a 5. They rolled a 6, which turns into a 5. And then you add +4 from all of your modifiers. They don't have any champions to face off against you in one-on-one combat, so we just sort of give you a flat +1 modifier to that. And they are defeated by a total of 5 here. Which means you have decisively defeated them and instantly kill half of them on the charge, and soon begin to overrun their forces as they are forced to immediately retreat. The few of them that manage to get off attacks with their hand axes, with javelins, with spears, will make a simple will counterattack effectively and kill some people in the crash. There we go. You don't care about the true numbers. Ursale and Snefru riding. Are you guys sharing a saddle? I gotta know this real quick.
Yes!
Snefru, are you in the lap or behind Ursale?
I am on Ursale's shoulders.
I think you're on my shoulders, but you have the reins. Because you know how to ride a horse.
Alright, Snefru, wand in one hand, reins in the other, mage armor up, shield at the ready, counterspell at the ready, throwing fire bolts. A fireball is about to go off when you realize the heavy knights are running forward. Shields up, blocking javelins. It's the little, lesser armored guys who are getting just, you know, absolutely obliterated by a javelin volley that is hurled at the last possible second. You hear the Neordian accent of "whites in their eyes" before their voices are drowned out by combat itself. In the distance, Yonsei, Glynis, and Dizem, you will watch the devastating ability of cavalry absolutely obliterate the front line. The enemy force vanishes from the numerically superior cavalrymen. You see Ursale because his maul rises up one-handed, that is brought two-handed down onto some poor man whose, like, upper half is just caved into his lower half. It is a brutal bloodshed moment. As the cavalry pushes through their loose formation and begins to whirl around close to the riverbank. The other Neordians view this and will begin to, like, rotate forward, seeing as that is their job. But they're so far out of position, effectively miles away from what is going on. No one will arrive to support these guys before you just crush them. The horsemen don't get the follow-up from Glynis and the 100 veteran swordsmen or melee combatant adventurers will just finish off the 60-ish, 30-ish guys remaining.
And a crew of, like, elite longbowmen, right? We got, like, some snipers out here just, like taking down stragglers, volleying them.
Yeah, like, some people just wade into the river, drown immediately in their chain hauberks.
Oh, no.
Others are just getting shot as they're, like, trying to run away. One guy surrenders. Somehow. Are you guys in a prisoner-taking mood?
Yeah, right? We're not gonna be.
I mean, we're not gonna execute him on the field of battle. I don't know if I'm in a prisoner-taking mood or not.
You want me to? Is it my job to, like, take prisoners?
Absolutely. Dizem, you are chief interrogator.
Okay.
I've seen what you've done with dwarf bodies.
I got this. I will take
prisoners.
any prisoner.
You guys will regroup briefly. Your sudden surprise attack, having effectively cleared this side of the bridge momentarily, you maybe have like 20-30 minutes to decide if you guys are reorganizing and going to try to smash another pure infantry group of these Neordian raiders, or if you are backing up before they can put in some anti-cavalry measures. What would you guys like to do?
I just want to know the actual distance. Like, so how long would it take us to reach them? How long would it take their reinforcements to reach that position? Like, what is the timetable look like?
Currently, the units are in this area. You have maybe an hour before the main force gets to where you currently are.
And it would take us an hour to finish the second group, right? Assuming we were just as successful.
Roughly,
or it would take us 10 minutes. Okay. So if we're running the risk of the main force coming to us, I want to essentially we've harried, we've harassed. Let's get back to HQ and see what the result of that is.
Okay.
So we can do it again.
As we do it again. I want to remind the people at home, even though these grids do say, like, 20 miles, 10 miles, things are a little bit closer than what the map is portraying here. This is not a chessboard.
Objects in the map are closer than they appear.
Yes, very much so. We are abstracting heavily, one could say. Riding hard, spending time doing all of this, getting behind your trench line, you have shattered a singular unit. You now have one prisoner.
Let's go.
Congratulations, you've drawn first blood. Well, for you.
Woo-woo.
You, on this side at least. I need to denote that on the... I drop all my pens all the time. On the 17th, we engaged in battle. Some might even say we had a skirmish, but I wouldn't say that. You guys had a strategic victory, as they call it. This is for my notes. Cool. Party, what did we do? As you have tasted first blood, you've harried, you have succeeded quite smashingly.
I think that Glynis is going to tap into some inner bard and go to the host of the new bloods and the like garrison and be like, rah rah, like we are conquering heroes. We've defeated, we have won a victory, we have taken a prisoner, we've come back with very few casualties. Like, it tries to I guess bolster the spirits of the garrison, even though they seem to be kind of like mind zombies to the Gravekeeper. But I don't know, it seems like keeping spirits up in wartime is a good idea, and this is an opportunity to flex some princely muscle and show, look, we're winning, believe, be confident, we're gonna get this done.
The guys who look like insane men ready to just go out and do what you did are borderline rebelling against the Gravekeeper of like, why aren't we attacking? Why aren't we attacking? Why aren't we attacking? They just crushed them. We can wipe them all out right now. Why are we waiting? And the Gravekeeper says, oh yes, they have made carrion for the vultures this day. What a splendid charge, Lord Leeks, and a good follow-up. Galenus and his vagabond mercenaries. Quite a splendid sight you've shown the gods and the devils this day. Hell is over... And he goes on, pontificating upon your victory, trying to make you feel better, but also, you know, being unfazed by the rah-rah. Everyone else, though, is, like, hyped as fuck that you guys just slaughtered 60 to 120 Neordian raiders.
The counter raiding was successful.
It's true. And you have a single prisoner to show for it, who looks traumatized. Let me find out what type of prisoner this is, because the unit types matter. There's a 50-50 chance this is a Raider or a Raider Youngblood. I need a 1d2 from someone. 1 is Raider, 2 is teenager pressed into service and drugged into violence.
Chief Questioner / interrogator, this is all you.
Oh, it's all up to me to roll this?
Oh yeah, this is your purview, man.
Alright, I want you to roll me a 1d6 plus 12. Just for funsies. Okay.
13.
Before you, Dysum, having a captive in, I guess secured by the fact that you could spell him to death, is a 13-year-old, shirtless, shoeless, pants-wearing guy who once had a knife and a hand axe, who was expected to die in battle, is too in shock from just being cavalry charged to truly get out a sentence, and is a soldier that you have captured. Congratulations. What would you like to do with them, Dysum?
This is just a child.
Yeah. He's 6 years younger than you are right now in real life. How does that feel?
Yeah.
Are you a hero,
What
Dysum?
I'm gonna do...
That's a literal baby.
We're gonna have to set up like a little area for prisoners.
Keeping prisoners is expensive, you guys.
He could dig graves.
Well, the prisoners can also do manual work.
You just throw them back over the wall.
So if
You could release him right now
Beyonce, if
for
you want.
literally no cost.
we either kill him or we keep him prisoner, those are like the two options we have.
Or you could release him for no cost.
What if
We're not
we
releasing
gave?
him.
What if we
Single.
gave him like bad information about our
What a
size of the army and position, and like let him wander back like he escaped? Like, what if we keep a bad watch on him and he escapes with like a lot of information
Let us put on a
that like, we
play
choose?
that he overhears us. Let us put on a play that he overhears
Okay.
us.
We're transferring him to our prison where we've already caught like hundreds of people, and
And
have
we
it
put on
set
a
up
play
where
that
if they go
Countess-
there, man, listen,
the
I got
play
this.
should be that he overhears an argument between the prince and his retinue about how the Countess Malo has betrayed us and run back to Belia. And no reinforcements from the south are expected. and he luckily escapes.
I like this.
Magically.
Yes.
We're
And
just
yeah,
really
we
bad
just-
at tying ropes.
We don't.
Um,
We
And
suck at tying ropes.
our good ally, Prince Bjornstein, will hear from us soon,
Oh,
and
I
hopefully
like
he will
that.
help us against Prince Ragnar.
Yes, I like that.
Mhm.
Yes,
Mhm.
all of
Mhm.
this.
Beyonce's taking notes.
Okay.
Yeah.
As the chief
let me
prisoner,
hear
this
your
sounds
argument
like a great
voice.
idea. All of
Huh?
this. 2 big thumbs up. I also need to go tend to our wounded soldiers when we're done with the prisoner.
Mm,
As
perfect.
is my secondary job.
We are not, by the way, saying
Medicine
this in
man.
front of the prisoner.
I
course
figured.
not. No.
Just as an aside.
You briefly give this
Just
like
in
13-year-old kid with a knife and an axe or what weapons he
I'm
once
taking those
had.
away from him.
You
He's
gave
not
him to the
taking those
away
gravekeeper
from
to
him.
watch for like a second, and he's like, alright, start digging. And he just was like making the kid dig his own grave in a
Oh,
very
no.
traumatizing way. And Dysum, you head on over to quote-unquote restrain him better. Who is implementing this hastily made plan of counterintelligence?
I think me,
Oh.
Yancey, and the Prince.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
those are the main characters in this play. I think Yancey is leading it because they're the main character, of course. The informant, the
Of
one
course.
with all the knowledge,
Of course.
right?
I'm just here to look scary.
Alright,
Scared the
Yancey, this is important what you say to this, or in front of this kid. So I will be taking notes exactly of what you say.
I slap Gilly and Sneffer on the ass, give them both bardic inspiration as we get into this. As we start our play.
Okay.
All right.
Let's set the scene.
Hmm.
I would say this is not happening at our camp. That's a bad idea.
Yeah.
We
Um,
take over a tent, and then we have to have the prisoner somewhere near where he can overhear inside the tent.
exactly.
Very
exactly,
true.
Exactly.
And we make a
We
big
gotta,
play
we gotta
of
pack up the horses, make it like we're gonna go somewhere. You know, kind of in a rush. You know, we're kind of going fast. You know. And then the argument I think is gonna start with news of what's going on with the hot lady.
Countess Malo,
Countess Malo.
Countess Milo.
the Red Blade, because that
Yeah,
the kid will
it's
remember that.
The Red Blade.
Exactly. Yes, the
It
red blade.
would be very funny if the prisoner went back to the main host and said, "Muscle Mommy's not coming."
Red Blade MM not coming. Question mark?
But yeah, I think me and the Prince are in front of the tent, and then a messenger arrives, a distressed, harried-looking, youngish person, Yancey, has great news, and we go into the tent, and we all try to speak way too loud.
Way
Stage
too loud.
whispers. Yeah.
Way too loud. I read the letter aloud too.
Yes.
There's just
The
nothing
red
written there.
blade, the lady Malo. She says she's not coming.
Oh,
The,
okay.
the
What else
traitor!
happens?
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we role playing the scene? I am sorry.
Yes.
We're
Damn.
role playing it.
Yeah. Okay. Damn. I was counting on her support from the south. This is our plan to crush the hammer. Tell me, what word is there from our ally, Ragnar?
Your Majesty, my familiar has just returned from Ragnar's camp. He is ready to betray. He's ready to betray Emil and declare the creator a false god.
Oh, good. Then our next raid must be successful as well. We must make sure the hammer is alone with Ragnar.
Yes, we must take apart that vile orc camp under the cruel Prince Vidar, evil Njordian that he is.
We're very lucky that all the spies in the camp were able to help us defeat this current battle.
Mhm.
Truly. Yes.
And
Tell me,
we
is there
will
more
get our
news?
revenge.
You left.
We will get our. And after we clean up these Neordians with Ragnar's help, we can go and take care of the traitor, the Red Blade, ourselves.
Yes. Yes. A good plan.
Okay.
Messenger, scram!
I run out of the tent.
All right.
Is the prisoner still there?
Yeah, eyes wide, and then he like walks eyes with, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And then like quickly diverts his head. I would like.
Oh, Yancey's gonna do
Sneffer-
a little bit of like reverse psychology. Don't you tell this to anyone, prisoner. Just your head next. It's like a little.
All right, Glynis and Sneffer, I want to make a performance check. I want Yancey to do so at advantage for directly addressing the person who pretended not to listen but totally overheard everything.
You get the audience involved, you guys. That's how it works.
So that is a 20 on my performance, but I was also granted a beautiful bardic inspiration from
A
Yancey.
G8, baby.
Yeah, that ass slap is worth an additional 1.
So before
You
I
don't
roll,
like your
John,
cousin slapping your ass very much.
no,
Sneffer?
it's not as good as I thought it would be.
I do have an ability called Arcane Deflection that lets me add to. Oh no, never mind. That's a saving throw. Okay,
Yeah.
so performance.
If an arcane
Which is a
deflection
4.
could help you perform, I would revolt.
What's the bardic? A
Plus the-
D8.
Plus a D8. Yeah.
Okay, 9.
Okay,
9.
a 9. All right.
All right, what's the average
Even
of
with
that?
a plus 11, I got 19.
Corin?
21, 19, 9.
16.
Okay. This guy did a insight check against you guys. A Neordian young blood who is effectively a I don't want to call them kidnapped, but effectively they were given up to effectively join a weird culture of war dogs. They aren't very wise, surprisingly enough. And their natural 14 will bring that well under the average. Maybe there's a little bit of doubt because it does seem strange because, I mean, everybody knows about Muscle Mommy. There's no way that she would betray this country, in their mind at least. And he's like, but no. And just a little bit confused about that part.
If the prince himself said it, though.
The prince himself did say it. But does this kid know who the prince is? Regardless, this guy seems to believe most of the story that you guys are going to check on naturally. Of like, alright, when are we releasing this guy? Does he look suspicious of us? Is he like fucking with us? Are we gonna have to drown him in the river?
That is another option that Yancey was going to propose. And we just toss him in the river, you guys.
Toss him into the river. You
It's
all...
a Livistian version of throwing them over the wall.
Jesus Christ. During the night, the changing of the guards, quote-unquote, will happen far too slowly. And with the lax ropes, and clearly these guys have never taken a real prisoner before, this kid will sneak out. Do you inform the gravedigger, who is maintaining the picket on this line, about the escapee?
I think so. Yeah. The idea is like, hey, we if you see a guy sneaking away in the middle of the night, that's chill. We plan
All
on that.
according to plan.
All
Okay.
according to Keikaku. Yeah.
Specifically, a young 13-year-old enemy soldier. Specifically.
that him specifically.
To sell this performance, the gravedigger will join in towards the evening and say, "Oh no, the prisoner has escaped. He's going to report. You know, and he just does that. And briefly, like,
Right.
throws a shovel in the guy's general direction of, I'm gonna make you dig your own grave! He threatens after the escapee who fucking
Gravedigger, no, your
sprints
knees.
into the darkness.
Don't run after him. We'll get him next time, Gravedigger.
And-
There's nothing
I-
he could know.
John, can I have Tove harry and scare the shit out of this prisoner on his escape?
For 100 feet before things naturally progress, and you lose ability to
Okay.
control it. Are you willing to
Okay,
take
I
that
want-
risk, Snafu?
Yeah, Tove, have fun.
Alright, Tove chases this kid in the dark, unsure what sort of bird is attacking him. Wildly
You
swing
want to check
out.
the camera real quick? My internet died for like a second.
Yeah. Feel free to turn off and turn on real quick. You look fine on our end.
Okay. If everything looks fine, then continue.
No.
Out of curiosity, what's the AC of an owl?
Let me check.
Oh no.
I think it's like 10, right?
Alright. Well, if it's
Owls have an AC of 11.
he'll definitely hit.
Tove, I will have to summon him again.
What's the hit points of an owl? He only has his fist.
1.
Oh.
1.
It's not even a hit dice that you roll?
Nope. It's not
It's,
for Find Familiar.
Oh no. Oh, poor Tove. You say go get him. He's like, yes, attack him! And he flies full sprint, uses his action to claw at him. The claw hits. I mean, the guy has more than one hit point, though, for whatever claw damage this does. And he just turns on a dime and just strikes out with a left jab against an owl. This 13-year-old kid rolls a natural 19. Immediately breaks. You feel a sudden, immediate severing within that 6 seconds.
Oh.
What happens, Snefru? Are you enraged?
No, I'm like, damn it, Tove. Damn it, Tove. We've been over this. When I say go get them, I mean scare them. You don't have to get close. You're a bloody owl. Excuse me, Prince. I must go fire up my brazier.
Please. It would be most wise to get that done.
You know, Tove's not a combat owl.
He's not a combat. You know, it's a noble sacrifice, actually. It makes this kid feel like he really was chased and got away.
He defeated a guard, a magical bird. He's
Yeah,
like,
he defeated a magical bird. He definitely probably thinks his information is a lot clearer, better now because we wanted him back.
Yeah.
We sent our magic bird guard after him.
Little Jimothy escapes into the wilderness, and then into the other lines, and John gets to roll dice in secret to see if this plays out well.
Nefer's gonna work on getting Tove back.
Yeah, you do that. Tove looks, while he's in his de-solidified form, he'll like, I kind of want to be a frog again. I'm tired of flying.
Too bad. Too bad. This is war. We trained for this. Here's a mouse.
No, you and then he goes, hoot hoot. Oh.
He briefly
Okay.
turns into Owly from Owl House.
This guy will report back on the following. The Red Blade Malo's not coming. Ragnar is a potential ally. He apparently declared the creator was a false god. A false god. Emil must be alone with Ragnar, is what he heard. Vidar enemy number 1. Spies in their camp helping Red Blade traitor? Question mark. For he did not hear everything exactly. After all, he got hit by a horse and knocked to the ground and is a little bit out of it. So he's going to try to... Well, he's going to get caught by the Neordian picket. They're going to realize who it is, because just the way he looks, and it's like, oh my god, he actually escaped. And effectively, he's going to try to sell your story back to the enemy leadership when questioned. And we're going to see how persuasive he is. He gets a +0 to this roll, so it's flat. That's a 5. And now, John keeps this one hidden. Oh, no. Email. Email, what's your wisdom, bro? You have to have... Okay. Woo! Although this is a vignette from the side of the enemy, all of you feel something is, like, going right. Of, like... Yes, he's selling the story, and there's like, you're looking, eyes peeled into the darkness of the enemy camp close to the lumber mill, and it seems like there's a commotion, and you're like, what's happening? If only you could get closer to actually hear what is transpiring.
Some sort of flying thing we could send over there to listening.
If only. Stefru's busy doing the Macarena. Tove, come on. Come on, we gotta go. Macarena. In theory, your summoning, it only takes an hour, right? Or less than that.
It takes an hour, yeah.
Then your summoning will be done before this kid gets there. In theory, you could send him over. I don't know if you want to after what just happened, but it's up to you. It's dark now. And you can change his form to that of a dark bird.
Okay, now he is a pitch black owl again, instead of a white owl.
Alright. Do you send him over? Red Rover?
Tove, I'm not summoning you again tonight. You better survive.
I don't want to
Here's a
die,
mouse.
man. He says telepathically. I feel it every time! Just let me die! Please roll me a 1d20 plus 3. This is your stealth roll for Tove.
Ooh.
22.
They rolled a natural 1. Whoever is paying attention on watch this night, they seem to be distracted by what's going on. Your owl just sits on top of the lumber mill and listens. Give me a perception check from the perspective of your owl, which is plus.
Owls have keen hearing, so they have advantage.
Can you, like, listen and
advantage.
see.
What, Hen?
Can't you like project yourself through your familiar and like listen and hear all the things that Tove is listening?
Only
and
for 100 feet or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh. That's
Yeah, not that far.
right. Okay.
So there's the first roll.
Oh, okay.
There's the second roll.
All right.
Same roll either way.
The 19s are king in this session, guys. I don't know what else to say. You guys, or rather, Tove will essentially hear everything, for they're not exactly trying to be quiet. It seems like Emil took this kid at face value when he called upon an unknown woman. Especially to you, Snefru, for Tove comes back unmarred, not exploded, unnoticed even, and will show you his memory. I think we're going to end on this little scene here, where a short-haired, blonde woman, who's quite small, but is, like, wearing splint mail, holding a shield, and, like, clad in holy symbols, with these weird U-shapes, over and over again, like, hammered, nailed, or welded to her armor.
Hang on a
there's
hot
like
dog in a second.
What was that?
Is this the U shape that we're familiar with?
Yes, of Remird, I believe the god's name is. Emil apparently took the kid at face value, summoned this woman to effectively read his mind, which is what you are able to tell through your vision. You're able to notice the spellcraft. You're able to hear through Tove the mystical words of detect thoughts go off. And then you hear the child, the soldier you captured, like scream out in pain and agony as they are effectively not brainwashed. Their memories are just violently ripped from their skull and projected onto this woman who you don't see the actual spellcraft go off, but you hear it happening. Like someone faints in the tent. And after a brief moment, this person, who is far wiser, far more intelligent than the child or even Emil, will instantly identify what this plot is, as they are quite insightful, and also roll hot like you, apparently. Or at least more insightful of this kid. For a brief moment, Snefru, you feel not just, like, frustration at the thought of, like, someone just used a spell slot to unravel all of our goddamn plans, but also there's unknown magic at play within the army of Niord. This isn't too surprising, but it wasn't wizardly arcane stuff. Detect thoughts does not cause a person pain. And whatever comes next from this battle, this war we are in with Niord, you will have to be contending with a unknown spellcaster, likely infused with the power of an unknown god. That is where we'll end our session tonight, as we gain some new intelligence upon the Niordian forces. We've also won our first battle. Who's ready for experience, guys?
Hey!
Congratulations.
You know, that didn't cost us too much. It cost us a prisoner and some fun. So.
And a plot was attempted, and in every group there's a party pooper, and I think we found them.
Yep.
And we
Found the party
also,
pooper.
we did learn that they have an unknown magic user in their camp.
That's
Should
the
be
party
a little
pooper.
wary about.
Party pooper.
Mhm.
Official name,
I-
party pooper. Put it on the documents.
They're a
I would
cleric.
be-
On them now.
There's gonna be
It
a
actually
cleric v
rhymes
cleric
with
showdown.
party pooper, weirdly enough.
I hope there is a cleric v cleric showdown, because I feel like this is the opposite of everything that Dizem is.
Possibly.
Not down for shenanigans. Causing pain, but not for humor.
Reputation.
I've hurt no
Does
one.
anyone deserve reputation?
You know, Snefru and Ursale did go to the front of the battle right away.
It was so fun.
Loyalty, honor. No, you're muted.
Sorry, I think that would be honor, right?
I would say, most like be honorable.
I think so. You're the champion, you lead the charge, that's pretty honorable.
You would have died with honor, Nefru.
If it had happened, that would have been a sad but honorable death.
I'll take honor.
Honor for sure. I think that's good. Yeah.
I want to say maybe honor for Dizem for not killing a child and instead keeping them prisoner, and then you guys released him.
We
But that's
do
just a
not
maybe.
reward people for not making decisions. It seems like they chose to use him as a play for an intelligence operation, and although it backfired, Dizem did not have his reputation at stake with that act. If Dizem was like, we're sacrificing you to my god right now, like, clearly that is a telltale sign of what Dizem's about, but, like, handing him over to the prince and to Yonsei and Snefru is not worth a reputation increase or decrease, I'd say. I'm gonna quickly veto that while I have calculated your experience.
And the prince gets ambition for his war raising, banner raising.
I suppose so.
I
can
think
his
strike
initial-
first blood with a attack. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think the unwillingness to sit still and just be a, wait for something else to happen. I think that shows ambition.
Okay. If I
Very
take a
true.
point in ambition, that will put me at 10. I don't know if that's a threshold that matters, but there we are.
Does anyone else have anything
I would also
that
say
is
that was
above
honorable.
10?
You would say it was honorable to raid? Should I
Because we
take...
fight in general.
Uh-huh. Should I take honor or should I take ambition?
Like ambition.
I think ambition. Fighting's more of an
Okay.
ambition, not. It's not like you
Okay.
try to 1v1 their champion.
Yet.
That's true. Yet, need a few levels in Warlock before I feel confident doing that, but yeah. So, yes, I guess that will put me at 10 ambition, John.
Okay. That will come into play next time, as word travels that the ambitious prince drew first blood against the Neordians. The start of the prince's counterattack. Anybody else got any points? Yonsei, Snefru, Daizum.
Somebody
gonna take
deserves
honor.
points for that prisoner dilemma thing. Like, we did a whole, rigmarole and fed bad information, despite succeeding on, 14 rolls, right? Like, it didn't work out, but, the plan is good and definitely deserves something. I don't know if that's, ambition
Bested by
or...
one spell.
Yeah, I think ambition is good.
I think somebody needs that. Maybe Sneferu, maybe Yonsei. Maybe Sneferu gets ambition and Yonsei gets honor or something for being an awesome bard. Her reputation as a bard has increased, I feel for dominating that, right?
Definitely
Her-
becoming more of a spy-ish.
Yeah.
Person, too.
I feel
Just feeding
there's
false
reputation increases to be had there. I'm not sure what one counts.
I'll take an honor because my honor's at 2.
I think that's fine.
I'll take an ambition. Why not?
Not an honorable bard.
What bard is on?
But that would not have-
though? I'd like to
It's
see.
honestly, yes. Thank you.
But the only reason that ploy even got as far as it did was Yonsei.
Right, yeah, she, Yonsei did the, main character role of the play. They handed out the bardic inspiration, right? They're the linchpin of the plan.
Okay,
I take the
I
honor.
can see it. You can get a little
Because I
buffer
need
to your
it, because I
honor.
don't want to know what happens when something goes to 0.
I do. I need to do something disloyal real quick.
Just
Does-
slap Gilly in the face. Just fuck you, Glynis.
Does Daizum get servility for taking on the role as master of prisoners and healing the army and stuff like that?
I could see loyalty.
Or loyalty.
I
Yeah,
could see
I'm
loyalty
down with
or
that.
servility. Servility is to Glynis the character, right? So if Daizum was honestly, no. I think Daizum does deserve a point of loyalty, because after he got through his duties, his first thought was to, the countrymen that he is, guest to, effectively. And if that doesn't deserve a point of loyalty, I don't know what does, right?
I like that.
I'm trying to reduce as much casualties and keep our soldiers happy.
Yeah, that's loyalty for
I like it.
sure.
Well, he's
Maybe
also working on his
pragmatic
church.
loyalty, but it is loyalty. Snefru or Saleh, do you get anything? Or Saleh, you got honor. Never mind. What about you, Snefru? Did you get anything I missed out on?
Someone said I should get ambition, so I took it.
I
I
did
think
say
that was
that.
for-
I said it was for him and Ursale took the charge with the
And then
horsemen.
Glynis said it was for the plot.
I could also
play.
see
So I
honor
was-
for you, because the war mage doing the war thing that you were brought here to do is that was expected of you, and it's kind of like an honorable thing that court wizards aren't really expected to do. Like, they're not really expected to throw down at the drop of a hat and lead a cavalry charge. So, if you want to take ambition, go for it, but I can also see arguments for other stuff.
I'll go for ambition because that's my highest one. So I'm at 8 ambition.
Ooh. Can we do a quick checkup on everyone's reputation levels as I give you all 600 experience points? Please take it home. Level up if you have leveled up. I know one of you leveled up last session, but only did it today. Beyonce, did you hit level 5?
I did hit level 5.
What stuff did you get at level 5?
I got the D8 Bardic Inspiration.
Huge.
And I can now get my Bardic Inspirations back with a short rest, which I feel like is really good for a
huge.
war. And I got 2 third level spells. And I switched out one of my first level spells. Like, I keep messing with them every single time I go up a level. I'm trying to find, like, the right mix.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't used a spell. I'm like, then I probably am not going to use it in the future. So I change it out and see what works.
Alright.
Shatter's been, like, a great win.
Yeah.
Suggestion I tried once, didn't really work. I'm gonna give it another try. But I changed out Unseen Servant for Thunderwave because I was like, I feel like it fits Yancey's character to have an Unseen Servant. But I wasn't really using it.
Uh-huh.
And there's only so many things I can do for comedy. And so I was just like, all right, Mage Hand is funny enough,
For sure.
And for third level spells, I have Dispel Magic and Fear.
Ooh.
Good choices.
Fear is huge. What was the first one again?
Fear is huge. Dispel Magic.
Dispel Magic is also magnificent.
Yeah, but
That
Fear
would-
because it gets people away from Yonsei. And I think that's good in a fight.
Oh, yeah.
Don't come near me. Stay away.
Did anybody else level up
I'm far
last
away.
session or this session?
I think we're all between 5th and 6th level at this point. Like,
Okay.
it's a pretty long jog to 6th here, 13,000 or something.
Ooh,
14.
It's 14, yeah.
Yeah,
Jeez.
and then it only gets harder to get to the next
Yeah.
level after that.
That is
Uh,
respectable.
I don't remember when we all hit level 5, but I don't feel like I leveled last session. I think it was like the session before, but like we've recently all hit level 5.
Okay.
I'm just still a monk. I got extra attack.
We got to go get your granddaddy's blade, and you'll be a warlock.
Yeah. Along the way, there'll be some changes.
For
But
sure.
for now,
Okay, quick reputation update for posterity. Dizem, where you at, bro?
I have a 3 in loyalty, a 1 in honor, a 7 in ambition, and a 4 in servility.
Okay. What about you, Ursale?
I have 1 in loyalty, 5 in honor, 5 in ambition, and 2 in servility.
Okay. Glynis?
I have 4 loyalty, 4 honor, 10 ambition, 3 tyranny, 1 ingenuity.
Ooh, we love ingenuity. What about you, Yonsei?
I have 5 in loyalty, 3 in honor. Thank you. 4 in servility, and 7 in ambition.
Okay. And Snaffro?
I have 3 in loyalty, 2 in honor, 8 in ambition, and 7 in servility.
Okay. Guys, we are currently very ambitious. The world is beginning to recognize just how ambitious you are. And I can't wait to see how the world is going to change. Realizing the plans you all have. That's going to be it for us tonight, everyone. Thank you so much for staying and watching and all sorts of good stuff. Tomorrow, I will be on Greg's stream, throwing down as Timothy McGee, the Elf Lord. Anyone watch NCIS? Any fans of da-da-da? No? Alright.
You got it, Proby. You got it.
Thanks! Any other shout-outs that anyone wants to make? Feel free. Find my music.
I'll shout out my favorite artist from Comic-Con. There's two, but one of them is Johnny Trentley, who did a Red Lantern Coyote.
Ooh,
Oh.
cool.
So I'm gonna shout out Johnny for that. I love it a lot. The only other shout out I would give would be Manny Manzuela from 10 Ton Press, the Frankenstein series.
Ooh,
Two of my favorite artists from Comic-Con.
very cool.
Very neat.
Any other shout-outs? Then that'll be it for tonight. As always, don't die. Woo!
Ooh.